All right, I think we're ready to start. So today we cover super PDPs and how super PDPs help your store product pages to reach very high conversion. Now, skipped a few pages, but first, a few words about me. So I'm Andres. I'm from Tallinn, Estonia. I have e-commerce and conversion rate optimization experience about 6 years. And during that 6 years, I have worked on more than 30 different projects from various different industries and also from various different scales of businesses. So I have worked with smaller, more local businesses, and I've also worked with more global and enterprise level brands with multiple countries, storefronts, and a very complex ecosystem behind the e-commerce. And I am coming from Conversion95. Conversion95 is a Scandi Group company, which we will cover in a moment as well. So what do you expect today? Firstly, I'll cover, as I mentioned, Conversion95, just briefly, what we are, what we do, why are we speaking about super product pages. Then we'll touch upon what are product pages in general, the key elements of product detail pages, examples of good and bad product pages, as well as some strategies you can use to increase conversions and user experience. And then we'll land on the question of what is a super product page. Super product pages, features and enhancements and benefits, as well as sharing a recent case study of Sportland's success with super product page in specific. And in the end, we'll have some time to answer some of your questions. And for those who are joining from LinkedIn, we can't answer them directly, unfortunately, but we will definitely get back to you. So, briefly about Conversion95. Who are we and why we know how to make e-commerce work? So we are a practice within ScandiWeb that grew so big in people's count, but also in projects that we decided to make a separate brand for it. It's called Conversion95. And we summarize ourselves as digital experience optimization team. And I wanted to showcase also a small overview of the framework or our approach to optimizing e-commerce businesses in general. So how do we do it? We look at it like a backwards triangle. So we start from the homepage as the most broad area. And general goal for a homepage is to catch visitors' attention. To list out some uniqueness of the brand, make it stand out from competitors, but catch visitors' attention and nudge them to explore further. Now, once they explore further and reach product listing pages or category pages, we aim to solve their paradox of choice, make their decision-making and finding the products that they are looking for as easy as possible. And once they do find them and they land on product pages, which we cover in very much detail in a few moments, then we try to make the product as appealing as possible, try to answer all of their questions, and of course, nudge them towards making the purchase. We also look at cart and checkout separately. The goal of the cart page and to optimize the cart page would be to push visitors, nudging them slightly towards checkout. And in checkout, it's crucial to build confidence, not to lose the visitors in the last step of the user journey. Now, generally, we operate in various different streams, but one of the most beneficial and the biggest in scope is definitely dedicated growth teams. So we have experienced and result-oriented conversion rate optimization specialists that will become sort of extensions of businesses operating on their own and in alignment with the business goals. So we conduct everything from research to testing to creating UX UI designs, also content in some cases, and assisting with other growth strategies. And based on our clients and relevant calculations that we've done, we can highlight that with us, the clients save upwards of $500,000 a year. How do they do it? Based on our clients' hiring costs that it would take to have all of these specialists separately within the team. So hiring, training, maintaining, nurturing. It can go upwards of $500,000 a year because we are not only outsourcing conversion rate optimization specialists, but the dedicated growth team consists of growth developers, data analysts, designers, in addition to conversion rate optimization specialists. We also conduct separate projects such as growth-driven e-commerce redesign, which means basically for merchants that are looking for a full website revamp. It's a dynamic plan, the processes from strategy to actually creating the designs and successfully delivering them. And we also do one-time customer experience audits with quantitative and qualitative data analysis, but I'll get into more details of those in a second. Generally, how we operate here at Conversion95. First, we jump on a call with you to get to know your business, sort of to understand your pain points that you currently have already identified and the goals of where you would like to reach. Then we will prepare a personalized plan outlining actions for taking on current challenges and identifying the path to get there. Step 3, obviously, before we can actually start to conduct any changes on the website, we need to know what are the points that users are not satisfied with. So we conduct research, which dives deep into the user behavior, identifying motivations, frustrations, and general understanding and behavior of the site. And then when things get interesting, we sort of go into 2 separate ways, which are somewhat crossed as well, but we either follow through with the website redesign if it is required, if it is wanted, preparing the complete templates of all of the user journeys, or we follow in the steps of experimentation and ongoing optimization. Now, how do we conduct research and why do we even talk about product pages? Where do we get that understanding? We generally rely on 6 pillars of research methodologies. First of it being e-commerce benchmarking. So when we take a website and start to review it, this is sort of the expert walkthrough where we benchmark the entire shopping funnel, the backwards pyramid that I was showing just a couple of slides ago, compared to against 150 plus e-commerce best practices to identify whether this part of the user journey is on par with the expectation or whether it requires an improvement. Separately, we also conduct competitor research. So similar gap analysis, but aimed at understanding the current business position within the market and looking at direct or indirect competitors, identifying the areas of improvement. Then quantitative and qualitative data analysis. With quantitative side, we try to look at the available data within the web analytics tools such as GA4 or Adobe Analytics to try to answer the question, where are the problems on the page? For instance, if we see that there is a major increase in the drop-off rates on a product page after making some changes to it, then we know that this is where a lot of people drop off. And we know where it happens, but we don't know why. And to answer that question, why this drop-off happens, we use qualitative data analysis. So it's kind of exploratory research methodology where we combine the data that we have gathered, but also then using different tools such as user surveys, polls, heat maps, or session recording replays to understand what is exactly happening and why. We like to separately highlight user testing as well, getting real people to share their feedback about the website, and obviously to express the concerns directly and see and understand how they browse the site. And once all of this is gathered, we generally formulate an optimization roadmap. So this is created to show a consolidated summary of suggested next step based on all of it and will be the basis and foundation of further optimization. And yes, as I mentioned, we have relevant examples of based on our clients that hiring and maintaining a full-scale optimization team on their own could be very much more expensive than outsourcing a dedicated growth team, which the clients are able to upscale or downscale based on their preferences. A bit more about our team. We are 20 plus e-commerce growth experts. We're located in the center of Europe, and our team varies in their background from tech to psychology to design. But we are united by common passion of helping e-commerce businesses grow. And also, we're not standing completely alone because we're supported by a large team of UX designers, developers, and as I mentioned before, data engineers too. So generally, I would like to say that you are in good hands because all of our team members who conduct the research, conduct the optimization programs, have best-in-class knowledge about e-commerce from Baymard Institute, from CXL. We're also Adobe specialist partners and partners of many of the best optimization tools within the market. But now, introductions done, and to the question of product pages in general, the reason that you are here for today. The first question I would like to generally ask is, what are product pages? We generally know the notion that there needs to be a product on a page, but first some data. While you think, what are the elements that make a regular page to a product page? Some recent researches that we have run, we have identified an interesting insight. So we used to, and a lot of people still think that the majority of the sessions for e-commerce stores begin on the homepage, but that's not always the case. We have identified that more than half of the sessions of very recent projects have actually started on category and product pages. So while businesses optimize their homepages to the best of the experience, there might be only 1/3 of visitors who land on them, and they miss all of the previous information that the website has put out there, and maybe even relies on quite heavily. And they land directly on category and product pages without even knowing the information put to homepage. So what are the product pages? In a very simple answer, they are the centerpiece of e-commerce store. That's the main place to nudge visitors to make a purchase, and the product is worth a try. And it consists of high-level 3 components. We need a price, we need the product information, and we need some visuals. And there you have a product page. But the question is it enough? Especially in today's day of age where e-commerce is evolving rapidly and businesses are investing more and more to make this user journey and user experience on their e-commerce as good as it can get. Then we arrive at the question that it's not really enough, and we know it, that just those 3 fundamentals are not enough to separate us in this very competitive market, wherever your business might be operating in. There are other key elements, and studies reveal that users decide whether to stay on a website in less than a second. It's actually 0.05 seconds. So blink and you missed it. People formulate opinions really, really quickly. Their not really attention span is getting shorter, but they want to dedicate more of their focus and understanding into quality content instead. So to make a crucial first impression, product page needs to immediately inspire people to dive deeper and, most importantly, support them in making the decision to purchase. And how do we support them? We answer all of their questions in a way that is as user-friendly as possible. So to get into a few of these elements, the key elements on product pages. Firstly, it's inspiring image gallery. And what this means is not just white background, blank product photos, but in addition to that, actually showing your product in action. And that's not only exclusive for apparel, that's also for all of the other products, because this invites people to explore the product further. Short descriptions with social proof elements, also super important, but short description cannot only can get people only this far. They need to actually find answers to their specific, deeper needs and questions. Prominent call to action. In a lot of the cases on product pages we've seen, call to action blends in with the rest of the product page elements, or it's not sticky throughout the whole user journey. Sometimes it's even difficult to find it among all of the things that are being put to product pages, and this increases frustration in the users, potentially leading them off of this brand. Now, as I mentioned, short descriptions need to be supported somewhere by in-depth descriptions and specifications. Otherwise, people will just not be ready to make the purchase. And the recommendations, obviously, to any business that is looking to increase their average order value or revenue per visitor, needs to think about showcasing relevant recommendations. What about mobile experience, as the last slide was mainly showing desktop? We know that approximately 75% of all online shopping nowadays is done primarily from mobile devices, and this trend is expected to increase in the upcoming years. But there are a few key differences between people, and it could be even the same user, between browsing on a desktop and browsing on a mobile. People that shop on mobile tend to get frustrated quicker. Key information needs to be present within the first mobile fold, especially true for product pages. And product pages design needs to be optimized for mobile users. Even though the example here is showing a homepage, but you can see the difference in visual representation of when we have just a big plain section of text versus we split the text into multiple sections. We supplement it with images, supplemented with some visuals, icons, whatever to make the consumption of information more seamless and easier for the mobile users. Otherwise, they tend to abandon the pages quicker. So we'll cover a bit how all of these elements that I previously was talking about play into the importance of product pages. So we know that users seek clarity on what product is exactly and its utility in solving their needs. They look for use cases that resonate with their requirements. And if they don't find it, as I mentioned, they might head out to the competitors to go looking for them. So product page, first and foremost use case is to solve people's needs. Well, firstly, to generate interest, but then to solve their needs. Specifics such as features tailored to different use cases. Let's say we take sports, then materials, measurements, ease of ordering. Everything plays into the user's consideration and how they determine the value. So a detailed product information generally consists a comprehensive overview detailing the product's features and benefits in the description, but as I mentioned, not in plain text. And we'll look at some of the good examples, how it's done in a moment. Product images, image gallery is super important. Videos, if possible. Visual aids provide a closer look. Also help the people understand the product a bit better. How for apparel, it could be how this product is actually on another human, on another person. For furniture, it could be how it's how it could fit into my living space. How big is it compared to some other general items? And pricing and availability, also super important. Transparent pricing is something that's often overlooked. Pricing often is overlooked at all, in a sense that it, again, blends in with the rest of the elements. It's difficult to find each of these things playing to increasing friction. So, arriving on the product page, we can sort of group users' thought processes or general into three phases. So first is first glimpse. As I mentioned, it takes less than a second to evaluate your page. Does it look great? Does it look inviting? Does it look friendly? And if it checks this box, the user starts considering. And in the consideration phase, they are looking for the elements that we just spoke about, and they are evaluating if this product solves their specific needs. Now, having the elements there is only half of the job, because users might have a different perception. They might not understand it. They might not even find it. So getting the important elements out on a product page is important, and visually displaying them in a way, in a user-friendly way, is considerably as important. Now, if everything matches together, so the user's expectations match the website output, and the product solves their needs, then action happens. User adds the product to the cart and hopefully makes a purchase. So I also promised to show a few examples of good and bad product pages. There's actually one example, but it's a good example. And I would invite you, just without any biases, to think about which one of these websites would convince you to purchase. I know products are air purifiers, and there could be a lot of technical evaluation before you're actually making the purchase. And you might be interested in one or the other product specifically, but just based out of the first impressions and the design that you're seeing, which one would be more inviting? And I think that most people would choose the example B. So why is it? What strategies are used in the example B to get most people to go with this example? Because all of the information was generally present in the example A as well, that the one might look for. So let's take a closer look. What do we see as one of the first things when we look at this page? Image gallery. There is a very well thought of image gallery with the air purifier being not only on the white background, not showing it from all angles and the technical specs of it, but actually showing how it looks in a home. So next to other furniture, next to other items, how tall is it? How visually good is it looking there? So this already gives users a lot of imagination and a lot of sort of understanding, and they can more easily visualize it within their own living space as well. Second thing, which I grasped immediately, was social proof. So even though there are not a lot of reviews, but social proof is working super well. People tend to trust people, and if we see that there are positive reviews, people explaining that they love the product, then you would already be a bit more nudged towards making the purchase. Short and concise product description in the first fold. Taking this example, looking at the short product description, I can already identify exactly 4 unique selling points within this 2 and some more lines. So for cleaner air, improvised sleep, and peace of mind, removes up to 99.97% of fine particles, quietly, beautifully designed in Norway. So firstly, I can see that it removes up to 99.97% of fine particles. Second of all, it's quiet, which would be important. It's beautiful, fits into my living space. I don't have to hide it in a closet when a neighbor comes to visit. And it's designed in Norway, Scandinavian design. Super well thought of short product description, supplemented with some more unique selling points and value propositions. And the way these are brought out in the first fold is a good example of how to separate something and direct visual attention towards it. So we see that icons are being used to make this section stand out a bit more. Prominent price. Again, very good example how price stands out and how a discount stands out. And this message down from the regular price that save 119.7 is also good that it's highlighted. I don't have to do the calculations in my head on my own. Again, a simple step to take away some of potential friction and frustration from the user. And prominent call to action. Again, there's no way you would miss this add to cart button. But product pages do not end within the first fold. Some product pages go for 2, 3, maybe even 4 folds, depending on the product. And if it's a technical product, then there is a lot to explain. Looking at the first fold, there are also some interesting things that come up with this example. Firstly, there appears a sticky navigation that helps to guide the user towards relevant sections. If in any page actually, but if a product page specifically is too long without a clear and easy way to get to the right places, people become frustrated and they might abandon. They might go look elsewhere where it's simple to understand the product. And here it's beautifully shown how it's grouped into 3 sections. We have product overview, so anything the user would want to know in an exploratory phase. We have technical specifications, and we have reviews. And the pricing and add to cart stay consistently with the user, showcasing that in any of these phases, the user decides to follow through with the purchase. They find something that just solves their question right away. They can quickly add it to the cart and proceed to make the purchase. But in the second fold, there's also another interesting small icon popping up on scroll. And this is a chat, but it's nothing revolutionary, nothing new, but quick help is super important in product pages, especially if products are not so straightforward to understand. It doesn't have to be a real person answering the chat immediately, but just acknowledging that the customer can leave their questions somewhere and know that they will be answered is super important. And of course, the video itself, it's not playing here in the slide, but there is a video playing, and it's not just a regular explanation of how an air purifier works, but it is a lifestyle video. And why these are important, they give a perception of not how the product works, but rather what comes with using our products. And if the whole family is happy, the house looks clean, you can get a sense that this will bring joy. This will clean your air, you'll feel better, you'll be more happy, more energized, and leave you with some positive emotions. So again, a good example of how this is solved. Going a bit deeper, we'll also start to see some more technical stuff about this air purifier. And that's where I wanted to highlight more in-depth product overview that I was speaking about in the key elements as well. It is important. There's no going around it if you want to build a good product page. But here we can see that it's not only text, it's also visual explanation. We can see graphs popping up occasionally showcasing air pollution, pollutants and how that changes with using the air purifier. We can see images of Scandinavian design and how it fits into every household with its minimalistic look. So all of that is important. Supplementing your points of description with visuals is important. And of course, having frequently asked questions present. So these can be gathered from customer support over time. What exactly are the things that people are looking for that are not present? And technical specs. So these are downloadable documentation. They usually are, but it's built into this accordion, which also gives just a good hierarchy of content and overview. Reviews, as I mentioned, social proof, super important. People tend to go through them, people tend to read them, evaluate them, and they might find a use case that is super, super on point with what they're looking for. And then obviously they would be more inclined to make the purchase. So social proof enforces trust. But that is not all that goes into building a good product page or a super product page. So considering we know what is the main goal of a product page and we know the very fundamentals that go into product page, some of the key elements that would enhance it, some of the strategies that would enhance it even further. But what is this thing that could really make it stand out on a big scale? And we managed to arrive at super product pages, something that we sort of as a term or word invented. Essentially, it's regular product pages on steroids, quote unquote. The super product pages are enhanced e-commerce product pages designed to significantly boost conversions and sales. What they do is they optimize the shopping experience by addressing already then understood challenges faced by not only the consumers, because a lot of cases, the retailers are actually the ones that are holding back improving the product page. So 80% of consumers need detailed product information to complete the purchase. This is obvious, and this is something that we have already mentioned several times. But about 60% of retailers struggle to deliver due to product management. And this is actually what is holding a lot of product pages back. So imagine that you have a couple thousand products, or maybe it's even more, maybe it's 10,000, 20, 30 or upwards. Then integrating all of these extra elements into product pages could be a huge headache. Super PDPs, how do they help? Super PDPs improve efficiency because the data entry is automated. So we're using product information management system, PIM, that requires minimal manual input. And in this way, we are boosting the efficiency and giving the businesses more time to focus on what actually matters, strategizing, understanding their consumers, and developing growth and marketing strategies. And we can automate all of that. Reduced return rates. So clear, detailed product pages mean that there are fewer surprises in a bad way for the customers once they receive the product, leading to fewer returns and a generally happier customers. Also increased conversion rates. So we answer the user's question before they ask, reducing friction and decision-making efforts. And this goes way back to the research phase, considering that we take all of this information into account of how users navigate the site, what they are looking for on product pages. We optimize it to exactly match this user segment's needs. Better scalability. So our tech foundation can handle, as I mentioned, thousands of SKUs with ease, ensuring that the growing inventory stays efficient and products keep coming, and it's not something that will hold people and businesses and business owners back. And of course, reduced data silos that you have to keep in mind, organize, and have them stored somewhere. So it's all in one central location. And we actually briefly already mentioned PIM, but some of the people might not know what PIM is. So essentially, PIM connects various product data channels and from, let's say, CRM, ERP. It could be from actual stores and acts as some sort of information repository to ensure that data across all of these different parts of the ecosystem is standardized and is up to date, transparent, and efficient. So when we implement a PIM correctly, It enables to be much more efficient, have much better go-to-market strategies, better customer experience, and overall, over time, a better return on investment. But how does this work, and how do we do it in practice of implementing this SuperPDP? So before we start with any PIM implementation, we will test the difference that SuperPDP makes on your sales. So knowing everything that we do in Conversion95, how we usually approach the project is that we, again, get on a call with the business representatives, try to understand the current state of the business, current bottlenecks and goals, and short-term, long-term, and try to identify and address the PDP challenges effectively. So we conduct a lot of research to various different scales. We take all of the research we have, quantitative, qualitative side, and taking it into account, we design your dream product details page. And it's not only something that is based on our expertise, but it's based on the actual data coming from your users. So essentially powered by our research. Then once this, so to say, super product page is ready in design, we test it on select few products with minimal investments, because if we were to implement this right away without knowing its actual uplift, then we couldn't say that we're certain. So our developers run A/B tests on selected products, usually the products that have the highest traffic, and we can gather sufficient amount of data, handling both the design and the technical implementation of the new product pages. And with minimal investment on your end, you'll be able to test out the uplift that a super product page could bring. And once we see that, okay, we implemented all of this stuff backed by research, backed by our expertise, and all of the key elements that need to be present in product pages, considering your product and your market, we can begin with the PIM implementation, or if the PIM is already present, then existing setup enhancement. And what benefits can super product pages bring? In short, we'll also get into one of the recent case studies from one of our clients, Sportland. But essentially, with super product pages, we are able to achieve this, that they're just not some leaflet of information, specific things that need to be there, but they actually are turned into compelling stories. So by incorporating storytelling elements, by incorporating all of the research that we gathered, we can present products, features, and benefits through stunning visuals, concise copy, and intuitive user experience, and therefore more users would feel connected and confident with the product, with their decision, and in turn make more purchases. And here's an example of what we did with Sportland within the first mobile fold. Some of the elements to point out: cleaner gallery UI for bigger focus on product. And also in Sportland case, we try to be 3D first. So once the user lands on the product page, they are actually presented with a 360 view of the product. So in this way, they can see the product from all angles. Product styling suggestions is also present, as you can see on the gallery. This will take them down towards a relevant section of recommendations that go well with this product. Product variation shortcuts, which previously weren't there, and reviews for social proof that are also present. But that's not all. We need to build confidence on product pages. We need to make sure that we answer all the questions that the users have. As mentioned, otherwise they might not be confident enough to make the purchase. They might wander off to the internet to find answers, and maybe occasionally stumble on one of your competitors' site, see that they have this information, start looking, maybe make a purchase there. So in order not to lose customers, we strategically place confidence boosting elements on super product pages, again, based on the feedback, based on the research and everything that we gather, to foster a sense of assurance in users and the purchasing decision. So in this example, you can see that it's a running shoe. What is super important to know when you're running? You want to know about the cushioning, you want to know about the stability. If it's a general shoe, you want to know what's the best use for sports is, and the surface. On what surfaces does this do the best? And how did it work out for Sportland? What we saw was that we A/B tested it again, as I mentioned previously, before implementing it actually alongside with the PIM. And we saw that the SuperPDP had 19% increase in add to cart rate and 39% increase in transactions. That's a super interesting phenomenon because we didn't anticipate at first that transactions would grow twofold compared to adds to cart. And why did this happen? There's actually quite simple explanation. So while a lot of people were adding the products to the cart, they were actually sort of benchmarking it, leaving it there. You know, I'll think about it another day. I'll go around and look for something else and then compare and then think. Just save it. But what we saw after implementing super product pages was that people were also adding more to the cart. Yes, because it's just a more compelling product page. But those people that added to the cart were far more confident in following up with their purchase than they were before. And here you can see a very quick comparison of how product descriptions and specifications are presented before on the left example and right in post implementation. So we took this paragraph of text and turned it into a compelling story that answers customers' questions. And here's also a few more examples, a few folds, not the entire page, but this page can be already seen on their live website. So you can see there are a lot of different small elements that have been changed. Each of the element that was changed in their case had relevant reason for it. It wasn't just an expertise decision. It was actually backed by real data that we gathered from all of the pillars that I mentioned before in what we use in our research methodologies in Conversion95. So we have done quite a bit of testing to see what the users specifically are looking for in their case. And we continue to do constant customer experience optimization on their websites. So in conclusion, what should you remember from today's presentation and webinar? I think I didn't prepare a nice conclusion and summary slide because I thought it's best to keep it simple. You know that a regular product page is not enough. You should focus on those key strategies to improve PDP experience, but to really take product pages onto the next level, you should be utilizing what we mentioned in Sportland case, all of the relevant and backed research, supplementing it with compelling stories, using PIM to deliver it across all of the different products and different websites, and turn it into a super product page. Now, I think we have some time for questions. I'm not sure if any questions are presented here in the Zoom. Not at the moment. In LinkedIn, you can also post questions, but I will not, unfortunately, be able to see them live. But anything you have questions on? And of course, while some people are thinking or gathering questions, we have more success stories that are not only related to product pages, but to Conversion95 in general. We have, as I mentioned, dedicated growth teams outsourced to different clients and to very different industries, and conduct all kinds of different customer experience optimization programs. A few of them also highlighted here, Ladera and Enviropack. One, Enviropack being growth-driven redesign that I mentioned for a business-to-business packaging retailer. So we also conduct growth-driven redesign as one part of the offering. But with Ladera, it is a dedicated growth team that continuously optimizes the website with A/B testing, with identifying bottlenecks within the user journey, and also optimizing product pages. Let's see, we don't seem to have questions in Zoom, but I wanted to leave our emails here as well. You know how to reach us. LinkedIn questions, we'll also follow up on them. And yes, generally, let me know if any of you didn't get the questions answered. Follow up with me, and thank you for participating in the webinar. I hope it was useful and eye-opening in some sense in terms of product pages. Thank you, and have a wonderful evening.